Hello, fine fans. Mike of Fights with Friends. Everybody, please hit that like button. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you ring that bell so you're notified whenever I go live, like this Saturday and Sunday for Bellator 231 and 232. Frank Mir versus Roy Nelson, Rory McDonald versus Douglas Lima 2. I'm going to cut right to the chase. For those of you that thought this title was clickbait or I'm messing around with you, guys, I wish it was. I've been banking on this fight to really boost this channel. I mean, I've been posting about UFC 244 every day for a week now and was planning on posting it every single day for Diaz versus Masvidal until the main event. I had prizes. I have things that I bought in gift cards and things. This is, this is not a joke. But this is very sad. I'm going to read straight word for word what Nate Diaz just posted less than 30 minutes ago. I'm not going to make it out to NYC for fight week next week because they say I tested with elevated levels that they say might be from some tainted supplements. I call false on that because I only take whole food or natural food supplements. I don't even eat meat. Yes, he is a vegan. I think he eats eggs. So back to the tweet. So until UFC, USADA, or whoever is effing with me fixes it, I won't be competing. I'm not going to play their games and try and hide it or keep quiet as they suggested. Of course, you might know there's a new anonymous clause. As of about a year ago, USADA has said that they would stay anonymous on any of these positive tests until they have time to, make it absolutely official. But they're pulling fighters from fights, and what I think it does is I agree with what Nate Diaz did here because I think it just makes people look guilty anytime they pull out of a fight. I don't even think it was a good idea from the UFC or USADA. Not going to play their games and try to hide it or keep quiet as they suggested. I'm not going to have my name tainted as a cheater like these other MNFers who keep quiet until after the fight just so that they can get paid. Effing cheaters. I don't give a F about some money over my dignity and my legacy. I'm not playing along with this BS. I'm not staying quiet and figuring it out after the fight. That's cheating. So fight game, I'll see you when I see you. The realest, baddest mother effer in the game. So just from reading that post, the way I read that, the way I understand this, and this is still just breaking news, literally less than 30 minutes ago of when I'm posting this. The way I read it is the fight was on. They were going to have him fight Masvidal and then, look at the tests later. I don't know if they have to tell him what the deal is with this, but you got Conor McGregor who just announced that he's back on January 18th. And now this. Conor McGregor was hoping to fight the winner of that fight, possibly. I know he wants the rematch with Nate Diaz. He said he wants to come back for the rematch with Nate Diaz and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Let conspiracy theories begin. But that's not Nate, in my mind. Nate's not going to play in, I don't believe at least, into some kind of UFC conspiracy or something of that sort. He was going to make a lot of money for this fight. I mean, The Rock was there to give the BMF belt out, and I hope he changes his mind. I hope this ends up being false. I hope this video ends up being false, but I'm reading it straight from the horse's mouth. This is the tweet from the Twitter account of Nate Diaz. So unless somebody has hacked Nate Diaz's account, this is 100% true, and UFC 244's main event, Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, is 100% off. At least for the moment. And I have not heard a statement from Dana. I don't believe the UFC or anybody has given a statement yet. I mean, I was in such shock reading it. It's already been a bad day. UFC Hall of Famer and my good friend Randy Couture suffered a heart attack earlier today, expected to make a full recovery. And then this, we've been leading up to this. I changed my icon on Twitter, on Facebook. I was about to change it on YouTube to the UFC 244 logo. But right now, as it stands, it looks like possibly Till and Gastelum move up to the main event. Possibly Conor McGregor's ready to fight. Possibly Conor McGregor jumps in and fights Jorge Masvidal. Don't be surprised if you see that. Or if they're going to find somebody. I have a feeling Jorge Masvidal was going to want to fight. Leon Edwards, why don't you start ringing him? I don't think he was going to want that fight. I don't think they're going to think that that's going to sell the pay-per-views. But I bet Leon Edwards is blowing up Dana's phone right now to get that fight with Jorge Masvidal. There's other guys out there that could fight Masvidal. And who knows? Who knows who comes up? So if somebody comes up from 155, which is quite possible because they're not going to have a whole lot of time to make the weight. Shoot. I don't think his brother's going to jump in there, but I'd love to see Nick jump in there. I don't think he's going to jump in after that because I'm sure he's as pissed as Nate is over this. But for Nate Diaz to supposedly test positive for a supplement, you would think that they're going to have to run several tests for that. And they're telling him, you're 100% positive, and after the fight, we're going to talk about this publicly? This, like he said, this guy eats natural. He doesn't eat meat. So he couldn't have gotten tainted meat. All his substance as he takes, all that, he says are natural, all his supplements. So if we listen to everything Nate Diaz is saying, and we have no reason to believe that he's lying. I mean, he's a super triathlon. His cardio has been on point forever. And the only thing he's ever done, and admittedly, was marijuana. So they are not saying what the tainted supplement is yet. Nate's not saying it. The UFC, as the beginning of this recording, has still yet to make a statement. And some people are going to lose a lot of money because this was Madison Square Garden. Unless they can figure something out real quick. I imagine Dana's going to want to give that belt away to somebody. And sorry if I'm kind of freelancing a lot of this because I just wanted to get this out as quickly as I could. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts on it are. Do you think the UFC brings somebody in for Jorge Masvidal, somebody else? Do you think they run another test on Nate? Maybe it comes back negative and they back off? What do you guys think happened, and what do you want to see happen? If Nate doesn't fight, are you still excited about this? I don't think anybody's going to be as excited about it, but who should jump in there? Would you want to see Conor McGregor jump in there against Jorge Masvidal? What if it was George St. Pierre to come back? Maybe, he's been talking about the Khabib fight here for a while. Khabib says he wants to fight him. Possibly, Khabib has already signed that fight, already talked about that fight, and George St. Pierre's just waiting for Khabib versus Tony, and George St. Pierre's already been in the USADA pool, and we haven't been notified. And here's something else that you have to think about. And this is a legitimate thought in my mind. Tony Ferguson, he is tweeting out and challenging people all the time. Even since he's supposedly, been promised this fight again against Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's like, I was promised it for the interim title too. I believe it when I'm in the cage. He called out the welterweight champion since then. He called out Kamaru Usman. He called out Colby Covington. This guy, he's ready to fight in a moment's notice. And if Khabib is not going to fight until after Ramadan, You could see Tony Ferguson jump in there, beat up Jorge Masvidal, get that BMF belt at 170, then drop back down. He's probably not even going to have to drop, just don't cut weight for this fight. If he wins it, drop back down and fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. Then if Masvidal somehow pulls off a victory over Tony Ferguson, though, everything is in disarray. They're probably trying to talk, maybe Masvidal into going back down to 155, or he definitely gets that title shot against the winner of Kamaru Usman versus Darren Till. Does this sound enough like a soap opera yet? All right, everybody, I will be quiet and let you sort this out in the comments for me. I'm really interested to know what you think about this. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again live in chat. As always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.